Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to another episode of MC Commute. Today we're going to be riding to the motorcyclist office in Southern California on Kawasaki's 2019 Z125 Pro. So let's put the helmet on and go for a ride. Here we go, guys. Kawasaki's 2019 Z125 Pro. This is the entry-level Z street bike from Kawasaki. It was introduced in the spring of 2016, I believe, as an early release 2017 model. So it was designed to go against Honda's Grom, and at the time Kawasaki saw a forward trend in the small displacement street bike segment. So that's why they came out with their own original machine. I really like the styling of this motorcycle. Even though it only costs $3,200, you can see the Z styling in it. The cuts on the fairing, the cuts on the fuel tank, that angular, aggressive, almost origami-like Kawasaki Z styling is all right there. Very aesthetically pleasing bike. I guess the only real squawk I have in the styling department is it doesn't have LED lighting, no LED turn signals. There's a competitor out there that does offer that, so it would be nice if Kawasaki fitted LED lighting. But besides that, it's a very pretty motorcycle, and I like how it stands out in this orange colorway. But enough talking, let's go for a ride on this thing. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Just a normal motorcycle. No electronics, no ABS, no anything. Fully manual. Clutch, front brake, rear brake, throttle. Just the way I like it. Simple. How does it sound, guys? Not bad for a entry-level 125cc single cylinder. And away we go, guys. Ergonomics on this thing. This is a small motorcycle. It's almost pocket bike size in its dimensions. Yet, even though with its small size, it's still a 6 foot tall rider can still ride this thing. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a little bit small, but I wouldn't say it's overly cramped. It's not like riding a pocket bike. That's overly cramped. Kawasaki did a nice job with the ergonomics on this thing. The seat is obviously very skinny, but has enough base for my rear end to be comfortable on the saddle. There's enough room here for my knees. I have really long legs, so you would think that a motorcycle this small would have some problems with turning because of your long legs, but I don't have any problems with that at all. Handlebar is a little bit low, not crazy low, but I'm a little bit taller, so I always like to have a little bit taller handlebar than most. And that's the cool thing about this little Z125 Pro, is it just squirts in and out of traffic so easily. A lot of people might laugh at this bike just by its sheer dimensions, but you can really get around town quick on this thing. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of power. Yeah, it's not that fast, but just because of how small it is and compact and agile, you can really get in and out of a lot of sticky situations with ease. There's also room for a passenger. There's passenger foot pegs and a little bit of room on the back end of the seat, so you can actually have someone tag along with you. You're not going to be going that fast, but you know, for running to the beach or running an errand with your lady, you can totally do that on this bike. 4-speed manual gearbox. We're in top gear right now. Full throttle, 55 miles per hour. And this thing squirts off stoplights a little bit more efficiently than the red bike. Gearing on this bike is a little bit lower, so it's easier to get to its maximum top speed.
I know on the red bike kind of can't get to the maximum top speed just because the gearing's so tall. So this thing maxes out right at 65 miles per hour. On the dyno, this thing puts out right around 8 horsepower. 8 horsepower at the business end of the 12-inch IRC tire. 8 horsepower is not a whole lot, but it's enough to propel this 225-pound Z125 Pro to 65 miles per hour with my 186 pounds of weight on it. And look at this, we're already just slicing and dicing. Love how skinny this motorcycle it is. It doesn't have a lot of power, obviously, so you really have to use momentum to your advantage. Just basically hold it wide open everywhere and just float around and try not to use the brakes. And if you ride it that way, it's actually surprisingly efficient. This thing's powered by a 125cc single-cylinder engine. Just a 2-valve, air-cooled, super simple. Kawasaki was quick to point out that this engine isn't the same engine that powers its KLX mini off-road bike. It's a different engine. This engine's purpose-built for life on the road. There's a little bit of vibration through the controls when you give it gas, pretty much at any RPM, but based on its $3,200 price tag, a little vibration is completely acceptable. But you do feel it through the seat, through the foot peg, through the handlebar, especially at high RPM. Clutch lever pull on this bike is ridiculously easy. You can literally use one index finger to actuate the clutch. If you're a new rider, I would highly recommend this motorcycle just because it's so easy to ride. It's so forgiving. The clutch it's easy to feel the friction point when you release the clutch and give it gas. Really easy to feel that friction point. You can stand with both feet on the pavement easily, even if you're a shorter rider. Just a very friendly motorcycle. Great way to get into motorcycle riding. If you've never owned a bike before and you're like, I kind of want a bike, but I kind of don't want a bike. You know, it's dangerous, it's this, it's that, it's expensive. This Z125 Pro would be a good way just to get a taste. You spend $3,200, you buy some nice riding gear, helmet, jacket, pant, shoes, gloves, and you give her a whirl. You like it, you keep riding, maybe you sell it, get a bigger bike. You don't like it, you sell it, and you just get out of riding. It's basically almost no risk when you're trying to get into motorcycling, and that's why I like this bike. Stoplights are definitely not our friends. That guy just ran the red light. We're going wide open, guys. This is as fast as she goes. And even though it has a 125cc 8th liter engine, we still hole shotted all the cars behind us. Isn't that crazy? It just shows you don't need to have a whole lot of power to outrun motor cars on the road. Handling, God, this is what I like about this bike. It's so just agile and lithe. So easy to put where you want. Got right around 4 inches of suspension travel out of this thing. And believe it or not, it actually goes over the bumps pretty well for a little bike. Ridden certain street bikes on this MC Commute route over these bumps that have delivered a far worse ride. Granted, we're only going probably half the speed of those bikes, but still, $3,200. This bike rides pretty good. Good job, Kawasaki. No front fairing, no windshield, but it doesn't matter. We're going so slow that 65 mile per hour top speed, I think you can deal with wind in your hair and the elements in your face. Talked about the suspension, 4 inches of travel nearly front and rear, no adjustment aside from the shocks preload collar. It's got a ramp style preload collar, so you can add spring preload to the shock, which lifts the rear end of the bike based on handling preference, or if you're a little bit heavier rider, or if you're carrying a passenger. We have it in the stock configuration right now, and it's a-okay. And away we go, guys. Finally we have a car pass us. Amazing. First car to pass us. Instrumentation on this bike, fairly simple, but it's clean. I like the analog tachometer. I like having that swept face, that old school tachometer look and feel. I really like that. Digital readout sitting adjacent to it. We've got speedometer, gear position indicator, which I really like, and a fuel gauge, which keeps tabs on the capacity of the 2-gallon fuel tank. 2 gallons this thing carries. It's a lot of fuel for a little motorcycle. I don't remember the MPG factors on this thing, but easily you should be getting 50 miles to a gallon. Easily. You should be going 100 miles over on the tank of gas. This thing is a very efficient means of transportation. Very efficient. If you lived in a super congested city like San Francisco, New York City, Manhattan, you'd be a fool not to have one of these bikes. Decent sound out of the engine. Kawasaki always prides itself for manufacturing motorcycles and power sports equipment in general with a lot of character. And even though this thing's a budget-minded single-cylinder air-cooled bike, it still has a little bit of that Z pedigree in it. You can hear it. It's minor, but it's there. I really like that. Unbelievably nimble. The most agile Kawasaki motorcycle made for parking lot or slow speed use, mind you. Of course, if you're really whaling, you want a Ninja sport bike, but for parking lot use, this is the most agile. I actually like that this thing has just a 4-speed gearbox, because you just hold it pinned everywhere, and that is your top speed. Brakes on this thing, adept at shedding speed. Pair of hydraulic disc brakes front and rear. Each disc brake's actuated by a single piston caliper. Nothing fancy, no frills, but it gets the job done. I like that this bike does not come with ABS. It's a full manual braking experience. And you might think, oh, it doesn't have ABS, it's not going to be new rider friendly, but I beg to differ. This past, these guys are just going way too slow. I beg to differ. The feel of the brakes and how easy they are to actuate just makes it actually a really easy motorcycle to learn braking feel and get that experience. Guys, we're taking a detour. We're not going to get on the freeway. We're going to take a detour today. I apologize, but legally in the state of California, we're not allowed to operate this 125cc motorcycle on California interstate roads. You have to have a 150cc or higher equipped motorcycle. So we're not going to take the freeway today. We're going to take a detour. We're still going to the motorcyclist office in Southern California, but we're going a different way. I apologize for all of you fans out there who hate when we change up the program. And that's really honestly where this thing succeeds anyways. You don't want to be riding on the freeway, even if it was legal. Here in California, people drive so fast you get run over. And the area where this bike really shines is just its slow speed around town. You want to ride this where there's a ton of stoplights and a ton of stop signs, because this thing accelerates and brakes so well, and it's so small that you can just get to where you're going so easily. As long as you just carry momentum and try not to use the brakes too much, you'll be surprised how fast you can arrive at your destination. It's quite unbelievable, really. And just the amount of savings you're going to have on fuel, it's unbelievable. This is such a wise investment for around town transportation. It's better than a pedal bike. It's cheaper than a lot of pedal bikes too. This Z125 Pro is made in Thailand. It's made at Kawasaki's factory in Thailand. Fit and finish on it's fairly good. Some of these bolts here, like these chrome bolts, look a little bit I wouldn't even say rough, but they don't look as quality as other motorcycles I've seen that are made outside of Japan at their wholly owned foreign country manufacturing plants. But again, this bike costs $3,200. I know I've said that a lot, so I'm not going to hold it against Kawasaki. Fit and finish is pretty good, and it's a lot better than the quality of some of those cheap motorcycles, Chinese-built motorcycles you used to see at auto parts stores for sale. This thing is way better quality than those things. Not even close. As I said before, the shorter gearing compared to the red motorcycle makes it easier to hit redline, and when you hit redline, you can hear the rev limiter cut in. I like the way that the bike sounds when that happens. It makes it even more fun to ride, for me at least. This bike is equipped with fuel injection, so it's gonna start up right away, no matter if it's 32 degrees outside or if you're up in the mountains riding at an elevation of 10,000 feet. This bike will always start right up and run perfectly because of its electronic fuel injection. This orange colorway, I like that it's not green. I love me some green Kawasaki's, but something besides green's always a nice change of pace. I remember the old Ninja sport bikes used to have this really beautiful blue color back in the day. Would be kind of neat if Kawasaki offered that blue again. Good alternative to green, but this orange colorway is nice. It really stands out. Might knock this bike. Oh, it's so small, it's so slow, no one's gonna see you. They're gonna see you in this bright orange colorway, trust me. Thing has a nice horn too, so people can hear you when they're cutting across 3 lanes of traffic and not paying attention. We're rolling on IRC NR77U tires. I believe that's the model. And even though these tires are pretty inexpensive and not really performance based, these tires actually have a lot of grip. You'd be surprised how well these inexpensive tires hook up on pavement. Alright guys, we're still on our detour, but we're gonna get back on route right now. Alright guys, we're approaching our normal, regularly scheduled route. And here's the wheelie test area. Let's see what she's got in the wheelie department. Ooh. Yeah, she does them. It's kind of hard to hold them though. She definitely does them, but you gotta shift it in the second as early as possible to try to carry them, and I kind of failed this time. But spend some time on this thing and actually wheelie's pretty good. You just gotta figure out the balance point and get a quick shift in the second. Back it in test, my favorite. Yeah, it's pretty good. She backs it in real nice. You just gotta slam on that rear brake. If you do that, she'll back it in good. But that's not really technically a back it in, that's more of a brake lockup squid skid. But I like those too, so who cares? There you have it guys, that was our commute to the motorcyclist office today on Kawasaki's 2019 Z125 Pro. Would I purchase this motorcycle? Absolutely. I would totally buy this motorcycle. I love this little bike. $3,200. I would totally buy it. Here's my colleagues. Hi guys.
Hey.
Good morning. So here it is guys, Kawasaki's 2019 Z125 Pro. I would absolutely spend $3,200 on this motorcycle. I like the way it looks, I like the way it rides, I like how easy it is to park, I like how inexpensive it is to run, and there's really nothing I don't like about this bike. It's a really, besides not having LED lights. Good job Kawasaki. If you want to know more about this motorcycle, please hop on to motorcyclistonline.com. They might have a review there of this bike from the press introduction in spring of 2016. Additionally, hop on to cycleworld.com. They might have a review there of that motorcycle. And that's a wrap from today's MC Commute. We're not going to do any Q&A today, guys. I apologize. We will put in our best effort to get an Instagram Q&A session going on the next MC Commute review. Make sure to subscribe to our channel here at Motorcyclist Mag on YouTube, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.